I don't know if anyone told you, but game development is kind of hard. It feels like a dance that you've seen, but you don't know the actual steps to, and you just keep messing up and keep bumping into people. But I'm in love with it. It's kind of awkward, and I'm lost half the time, but it's fun, and I just can't stop. My main goal now for this game is to just make it deeper instead of spreading further out. I don't want it to be a shallow game, kind of like Elder Scrolls Skyrim. I love Skyrim, but it's not very deep in terms of gameplay. I want to make sure that the sentences and things that people read on the page are as understandable as possible, so that way there isn't many ways to misinterpret it, and so that anybody can really understand. And I'd say it's going pretty well, but we'll see when it comes to playtesting. This past week, I have done a lot to this game. One of the things that is the most frustrating though is I'm still trying to figure out the name, because I want it to be unique and understandable, so that when people say, oh, it's that game, they know exactly what it is. Within the TTRPG development space, if you say the word knave, you probably know what that means, or Cairn, or Morkborg, or any of these games that are unique and special and just kind of more indie development. And that's kind of the name that I'm going for and that I'm working on. So hopefully by next week I'll have the name, but we'll see. I might ask for some advice from some people out there. I've cut up the development into 0.1, 2, 3, and now I'm on 0.4 because we're basically in the alpha stage. Once we are in the beta stage, that is when we will go into the 1.1, 1.2, etc. Right now I'm taking all the sentences and paragraphs and rewording them. That way they just make more sense and feel a lot more smooth when it comes to just reading them overall. I need to really start reading them out loud and even having Google or some sort of AI read them back to me so I can understand exactly what it says. And then also, I'm making sure that the character abilities and moves that you can do within the game feel different from each other. So that way, each class feels unique, and you're not just like, you're playing one class and you do an ability, and then another class does a similar one, and it feels like you're not doing a thing that's specific to your archetype. And so that's one thing that I'm really working on today specifically, actually. There are some abilities that do feel similar, of course, because I feel like there is a certain limit when it comes to developing these things, but because they are within this specific class and they are unique enough that they don't really interact too much. For example, giving a character a bonus to armor can be done in multiple ways, and there are two different classes in this game that can give you a bonus to armor, but it's in two completely different ways. I've come up with all the main ideas, like the game loop, mechanics, and the game style. How it's played, what things the players and characters have access to, and what I feel makes this game feel different. Some of the things I'm really happy about are the archetypes, which are the classes, the adventurer's carriage, the momentum system, and just the overall design goals and concepts that help turn this game into something beyond a generic TTRPG. Within the character creation, I really like how you're creating your character and you're starting with just picking an archetype, like an agility duelist or a tenacious warrior. But then, that's just the base character. Then you get into rolling for the type of weapon that you start with, and the bonuses that come, and the unique stats that come with that. Then you get to choose unique properties, like it was a family heirloom, or it glows in the dark, or it leaves a trail of glitter when you swing the weapon. And those are some things that I think will be funny, but also really fun and make it feel like you're creating a unique character within this system. Then you picked an artifact or an heirloom that is weird and really fun. Most of them are really useful, some are just kind of weird that can give a little more spice to your character. A couple examples that I have is a beetle that is just indestructible and it continually follows you, and its name is Gerald. Or the mummified goblin ear that allows you to summon a small goblin once per day to do a simple task for you. How successful that goblin will be with the task really depends on the situation. It could be very useless, or hey, maybe it'll surprise you. A lot of the character customization comes from your equipment and personality choices. It's really easy to make a character, but you can go really deep depending on how you want to roleplay the character itself. Next, I'm really excited about the adventurer's carriage. This is one of the final pieces I added to the game and that I felt really pulled everything together with what I was trying to do. With this carriage, it follows your party around and can fix your armor, cook you meals that give you special bonuses between encounters, and mix alchemical potions. It's turning out to be one of the greatest additions to the game. Your party does not drive this carriage though. It'll be whoever you want it to be. A retired adventurer, some sort of party sponsor, an official from the government, a ghost. The possibilities are really endless. And it really depends on what your party wants to do within the team roleplay in that section. One of the main systems that I created from the very beginning and I didn't know how to implement but finally figured it out was the momentum system. The momentum system is all about working together as a team to pull off a crazy stunt. If the majority of players successfully make a skill check, then they can do virtually anything. A massive attack on a boss, convincing a crowd of warriors to join their side, a kamehameha, bringing a character back to life. But if they fail, there will be consequences. It's a mechanic I'm really stoked about. And well, you can't do anything, but the positive and negative effects do have a lot of potential, just depending on the storytelling and what your party wants to accomplish. Next, lore. I've been working on the lore mainly because I didn't start with the lore with this game. I just started with the game concept and the ideas. But now I'm really jumping into the lore and working on taking it to a different level and seeing how can I take these game mechanics that I've created and fit them into a fantasy world. And I have a pretty good start. It's something that I think is coming together pretty nicely. I wanted to shout out one of my biggest inspirations for this project, and that is Miscast. They created their own TTRPG called Arcane Ugly, and their process and style has given me so much inspiration. They have a whole playlist dedicated to their process of creating the game, and I have watched that playlist probably about 4 or 5 times at this point, and it's late at night, 2 a.m., and I'm just coming up with ideas, creating my word banks, fixing different things with the game, and in my ear I just hear Miscast talking about how they created their game and their art and their inspirations, and it is really helpful for me because I never thought I could be a good artist, but with the confidence that Miscast gives us, I know I can be. It feels like it's been a month and not just a week, because I've gone from 13 pages of just notes and generic ideas to 27 intricate pages that have gone through multiple iterations. I'm loving this process. I'm doing about 95% of the work on my own, but the other 5% is the help from a friend with some really interesting mechanics that I just need a little bit of a boost on. So shout out to Raptros. Next week we start playtesting. So the next devlog should have an update about the first playtests. Fingers crossed, and fortify my heart because my baby is about to go out into the world.